Walking home with his mother, a young boy suddenly heard a faint whimpering coming from a car parked by the roadside. Peering inside, he saw a golden retriever puppy in a precarious state. On this sweltering summer afternoon, the temperature inside the sealed cabin was rising rapidly. The puppy was limp on the seat from the heat, his eyes gradually losing focus. When he opened his eyes again, he found himself lying on a patch of grass. The young boy, Ethan, was looking at him with eyes full of doting affection. At that moment, a wonderful thought began to sprout in the puppy's heart. However, Ethan's father didn't approve of the adoption. He worried it was just a fleeting whim, and that he would eventually be the one left to clean up the mess. But with his mother's guarantee and Ethan's persistent pleas, the father finally relented. The condition was that Ethan had to take full responsibility for everything regarding the puppy. The next day, Ethan and his mother went to get a custom tag for the dog. The front read, Bailey, and the back bore the name of his young master, Ethan. From then on, Bailey officially became a member of the family. Ethan treated him like a best friend, inviting him to sneak onto the bed every night to share secret stories of superheroes. Bailey basked in the love of Ethan and his mother, and even felt the unspoken care from the father. There was also a proud cat in the house, who always hissed at him. Bailey naively believed the cat was simply jealous of his superiority as a dog. Bailey's favorite move was spinning in circles to bite his tail, and time flew by in those rotations. Every summer vacation, the family would drive to the grandparents' house in the countryside. Once there, Bailey's life became even more carefree and joyful. His favorite thing to do on the farm was chasing the hens everywhere, always leaving the place in total chaos. When he got exhausted from playing outside, Bailey would run back into the house for several large gulps of water, then immediately dash back out to dive headfirst into a pile of manure, as if searching earnestly for treasure. While eating together, Grandpa would often secretly sneak Bailey treats under the table, though this time, he was caught red-handed by Mom. When Bailey wasn't thinking about food, he would wonder, why is he here? What is his purpose? After Ethan finished eating, he took Bailey out to play. He brought out a deflated ball from somewhere that everyone called a football. Although Bailey didn't know what it had to do with fruit, he knew that the ball Ethan threw made him extremely excited. The two played catch on the wide grass, their movements sharp and their coordination perfect. They played all afternoon on the farm, and even developed a special move unique to them. The sound of laughter and play drew Ethan's father over. He had been feeling irritable due to setbacks at work, his brow constantly furrowed. But seeing this scene brought a rare smile to his face as he marveled at their impressive trick. When summer ended, Ethan had to go to school every morning. In Bailey's eyes, Ethan was taken away by a giant yellow box. Soon after, Ethan's parents would also leave, leaving the entire house empty. Bailey hated this feeling. He later understood that this feeling was called loneliness. With nothing to do at home alone, Bailey began rummaging through everything and redecorating the house. Even the aloof cat became weary of life because of Bailey's boundless energy, often being chased frantically around the rooms. When Ethan's father returned from work and saw the mess Bailey had made, he flew into a rage. He sternly demanded that Ethan train his dog properly and make sure Bailey remembered exactly who the boss of the house was. Although his father demanded strict training, Ethan ultimately couldn't bring himself to scold his brother, which predestined Bailey to cause major trouble later on. One evening, the father's boss came over for dinner to discuss a potential promotion and raise. During the banquet, Bailey spotted a mouse and, in his frantic attempt to catch it, threw the entire party into chaos. This time, the father was completely enraged. In a fit of anger, he locked Bailey in the garage. Outside the door, Ethan pleaded incessantly for his dog. Though separated by a heavy door, Bailey could clearly sense Ethan's worry seeping through the cracks. Bailey knew how painful loneliness felt, so he didn't want Ethan to experience it. In the middle of the night, Bailey managed to sneak back into Ethan's room through a pipe. He knew Ethan needed him, just as he needed Ethan. In reality, the father's anger was fleeting. He only wanted to punish Bailey and never truly intended to give him away. From then on, the two brothers continued to play together lightheartedly. Every day in the yard, they practiced catching the football tirelessly. As time passed and Ethan entered his teens, the chemistry he developed with Bailey over years of practice made him the star quarterback of the high school football team, with a bright future ahead. But unlike his son's success, the father's career stagnated. Years of hard work failed to yield a promotion, and he was eventually left behind by the times and fired. The crushing weight of life broke the man. He began to drown his sorrows in alcohol, leaving the atmosphere at home cold and oppressive. To escape the gloom, Ethan often took Bailey out. During a stroll at a fun fair, Bailey detected a scent on Ethan he had never smelled before. Following Ethan's gaze, Bailey saw a girl named Hannah. To create a chance for his master, Bailey lunged forward and stuck his head right under Hannah's skirt. This reckless yet adorable accident dramatically created an opportunity for the two young people to meet. With Bailey's divine assist, Ethan's and Bailey's world of two became a trio of Ethan, Hannah, and Bailey. Bailey was never jealous because it meant there was one more person to love him. Together they explored the town, and on quiet nights, they shared kisses. Maybe Hannah is hiding something in her mouth, but no matter how much food you find there, you never find anything. Bailey couldn't understand why humans liked looking for food in each other's mouths, but he could feel the intense and sincere love between them. They promised that once they received their scholarships, they would go to the same university so they could be together forever. However, the shadow over the home grew darker. The father's alcoholism worsened until one night, in a drunken stupor, he raised a hand to the mother. A grown Ethan stood up and blocked his path. This conflict was the final straw that broke the family, and the father eventually left. Ethan was forced to grow up overnight and shoulder the family's burdens. Bailey also felt that things were changing. In the final key game of high school, Ethan performed brilliantly, leading the team to a championship and earning himself a full scholarship, which greatly relieved the financial burden on his mother. However, at the post-game celebration, his drunken father showed up and made a fool of himself in front of everyone. This gave Todd, a jealous teammate, the leverage he wanted. Todd mocked Ethan relentlessly about his alcoholic father until Ethan, unable to take it anymore, threw a punch. That impulsive strike ignited a devastating act of revenge. Harboring a grudge, Todd threw a firework into Ethan's house that night. The wooden structure was instantly engulfed in flames. Bailey, the first to scent danger, woke the sleeping family. Ethan tied bedsheets into a rope to lower his mother and Bailey to safety. But as he prepared to escape himself, the sheet slipped, and he had to jump from the second floor. The fire destroyed their home and Ethan's future. While his life was spared, his left leg was severely fractured, ending his football career. Bailey broke free from the police and chased the ambulance frantically. In the chaos, he spotted Todd hiding in the shadows. He immediately lunged and tackled him, drawing the attention of the police, who took Todd in for investigation. For a time, Ethan had to walk with crutches and couldn't play football. A bored Bailey had to settle for playing with a donkey at his grandparents' house. Possessing a strong sense of pride, Ethan didn't want to be a burden to Hannah. When she came to visit, he heartbreakingly broke up with her. Despite Hannah's promises to stay by his side, Ethan left her resolutely, claiming he didn't want to hold back her bright future. Tearfully, Hannah said her final goodbyes to Bailey, played one last game of his favorite football, and left the place that had broken her heart. After recovering, Ethan abandoned his original plans and chose a modest agricultural college. On the day he left, he threw the football that had accompanied his entire childhood to Bailey. Bailey didn't understand what goodbye meant. He thought it was just another game of catch, only this time, the distance was further than ever. He ran with all his might through golden wheat fields and past leisurely sheep, chasing the receding car, until Ethan, glancing back, saw that tireless figure. He gave his dog boss one last tight hug, but the separation had to come. In the days following Ethan's departure, Bailey's world seemed to lose all color. He no longer played with his ball or chased anything. Instead, he spent day after day lying by the door, waiting for that familiar figure to return. Time passed ruthlessly, and Bailey's body grew frail. Sensing something was wrong, the family took him to the hospital, where the doctor discovered his kidneys were failing. In his final moments, the family called Ethan back from afar. Through blurred vision, Bailey finally saw the boy he had first met. He could feel the heavy sadness radiating from Ethan, but no longer had the strength to comfort him. Death was not the end. When his consciousness cleared again, Bailey found he had been reborn as a German shepherd, though it felt like something was missing. In this life, his name was Ellie, and his owner was a stern, humorless police officer named Carlos. Life was no longer about leisurely play. It was replaced by rigorous training and dangerous missions. He became an outstanding K9, helping his master find contraband and track down criminals, winning many awards. However, Ellie could feel the endless loneliness hidden deep within Carlos. He was always alone, his room rarely lit, as if he were mourning someone long gone. Ellie wanted to comfort him just as he once comforted Ethan, but Carlos always pushed him away, sealing himself inside a hard shell. This continued until a mission where a girl was kidnapped. Using his keen sense of smell, Ellie found a clue at a dam. During the confrontation with the criminal, the girl fell into the rushing, icy river. Ellie lunged into the water and successfully pulled her to shore. Meanwhile, Carlos continued the pursuit, but was nearly ambushed from behind. At the critical moment, Ellie arrived just in time, biting the culprit's arm and giving his master the chance to subdue him. But in the struggle, a bullet struck Ellie in the abdomen. The mission was a success, but Ellie could no longer stand. For the first time, the usually calm and stoic Carlos lost his composure. He trembled as he radioed for medical support, his voice choking as he prayed for a miracle. In his final moments, Carlos finally opened his heart. Amidst his tears, Bailey's consciousness drifted back into chaos. His soul set off once more, and this time, he was reborn as a corgi named Tino. His new owner was a college girl named Maya. She was introverted and struggled with socializing, often taking Tino along to do homework together. He could sense that Maya wasn't very happy. She often stared at the couples on campus, lost in thought. To cheer her up, Bailey decided to use his spinning trick from 2 lives ago. He grew up again through these countless rotations. Maya's social circle was tiny, so small it felt like Tino was her only confidant. Because Tino was quiet and obedient, Maya even brought him to class. One day, a boy approached Maya to invite her to a club. Before he could even finish explaining what the club did, Maya rejected him. Tino could smell that Maya actually wanted to make friends, but her low self-esteem made her afraid, causing her to kill many opportunities before they could begin. Maya proved her love for Bailey through her actions, so much so that she fed him too many treats, leading to him becoming overweight. The vet insisted Maya take Bailey out to play and exercise every day. It was this very opportunity that led Maya to run into the same classmate in the park. Al was also there walking his dog, a large dog that caught Tino's attention. The interaction between the two dogs built a bridge for their shy owners. Gradually, they went from walking dogs together to dating. With Al's companionship, Maya became cheerful and confident. On the night of graduation, Tino smelled that familiar sweat scent again. Al finally proposed to Maya. In the midst of joy, they formed a happy family of 4. Before he knew it, a baby appeared, and suddenly Bailey's world turned upside down. He became the chicken he used to chase on the farm. Every day he was chased for exercise by the energetic child, unable to escape their endless pestering. Meanwhile, the large dog, Roxy, seemed much safer. Tino loved Roxy dearly, but one day, Roxy was taken into a car. The owner said they were going to see someone called a vet. Since that trip, Roxy never returned. Tino waited by the door for a long time, waiting until his own fur began to fade. In this life, Tino didn't experience loneliness again. Amidst his owner's soft sobs and gentle strokes, he lay peacefully on the floor and left this world. After 3 cycles of reincarnation, he was bought by a girl and taken home. Unfortunately, the girl's boyfriend hated dogs, so he was locked in a tiny yard with a cold iron chain. As autumn turned to winter, his world had no warm bed, only a dim streetlight to keep him company. He spent his youth in loneliness and indifference until one day, after an argument with his girlfriend, the man unfastened the collar, drove him to a deserted suburb, and heartlessly abandoned him. He would rather be a starving stray than spend another moment in that cold home of chains. He walked to a park and watched the other dogs with their owners. Bailey felt an indescribable sensation in his heart. Just then, a pet dog ran over. Bailey felt the scent on the dog was familiar, a scent from a long, long time ago. He couldn't quite place it, but he was certain he had smelled it before. It was something from a long time ago. Guided by a scent, Bailey gradually moved away from the city. He journeyed through forests, searching, until he saw familiar golden wheat fields. Then, a much more familiar smell hit him. Cars, ants, trees, horses, and trash. He leaped excitedly through the waves of wheat, sprinting toward the home he had dreamed of day and night, as if heaven itself were guiding him forward. He saw the little donkey, now much larger than in his memory, and continued deep into his recollections until he finally laid eyes on the farm he had never forgotten through 4 lifetimes. Though decades had passed, Bailey never forgot Ethan's face or scent. However, an elderly Ethan didn't recognize him, seeing him only as an ordinary stray and giving him some food. Ethan hadn't owned a dog since Bailey left, so this time, he didn't even let Bailey inside. But Bailey waited at the door. Although his heart ached, Ethan simply didn't want to experience the pain of losing Bailey again, so he took him to a shelter the next day. Bailey was filled with anxiety and extreme sadness. He didn't understand why his master didn't want him this time. Ethan, too, was restless that night. After a night of deep thought, he decided to go back and bring Bailey home. Ethan gave him a bath, made him a hamburger, and named him Buddy. That night, Buddy was able to sleep on Ethan's bed again, but he could smell that Ethan was still very lonely. Then, Bailey remembered the familiar scent from the park. In the misty early morning, Bailey set off immediately for the park. By a stroke of luck, the woman from that day was there. Fearing he might scare the children, Bailey followed her from a distance. When she arrived home and stepped out of her car, Bailey was overjoyed. The scent was indeed Hannah's. He stepped forward and gently barked to catch her attention. Seeing such a polite dog, Hannah knelt to see who the owner was. When she saw Ethan's name on the tag, her heart trembled, and emotions buried for half a lifetime instantly burst forth. That day, Ethan thought Buddy was just out playing, but he never expected him to bring back a familiar figure. Even though so many years had passed, Ethan recognized Hannah at a glance. He was afraid to go out and face her, but ultimately, unable to hide from a dog's nose, Ethan opened the door. It was as if the two had stepped into a time machine. Hannah was still standing there, standing in the breeze, standing in the heart of 17-year-old Ethan. Long ago, to get away from this place of heartbreak, Hannah had married and moved far away, but her husband had passed away years ago. Later, her daughter married back into this area, and Hannah was now living with her. Ethan, meanwhile, had remained single ever since. In truth, Ethan had regretted leaving Hannah every single day. Now that fate had given them a second chance, he decided not to miss it again. Soon, Ethan and Hannah held a wedding on the farm. Bailey had helped Ethan find happiness, but he knew his mission wasn't finished. He had been trying to prove to Ethan that he was Bailey, but Ethan always just said he was a lot like Bailey. After all, many dogs spin and chase their tails. Later, Bailey walked into the garage and unexpectedly found the football that had been kept there all this time. But Ethan only played with him for a moment before turning back to his chores. Bailey began to bark incessantly, signaling that he was ready to perform their grand finale trick. Ethan threw the ball, and Buddy, just like decades ago, used Ethan's back as a springboard to make a perfect catch. Ethan was stunned by this miraculous sight. This trick, which belonged only to him and Bailey, left him dazed and breathless. After receiving a positive response from Ethan, he was almost beyond words, but he gathered the courage to call out the name he thought he would never say again. This reunion, spanning half a century, is a closed loop regarding the meaning of life. 4 reincarnations, just to return to your side. This love that transcends life and death is perhaps the most heartbreaking yet most comforting part of the story. Although Bailey had 4 different lives, in the dawn of every new birth, he always had a heart that beat for Ethan. At the film's end, Bailey understands a dog's purpose: unconditional loyalty and companionship. Love is not just about giving, it is pure protection. Sometimes it must turn into the strength to protect your truth, and sometimes it must learn to fulfill others, letting a plain life bloom into the most beautiful flower. More importantly, one must carry the power of obsession to cross any obstacle blocking the way to the one you love. No matter when, find those who need help and help them, and hug the ones you love. And with this scene, our story comes to an end. And friends, don't forget to share your thoughts about this video in the comment section. Thanks for watching.